What's up everybody, Captain Blade J52 again here today. And in today's video I want to discuss briefly the recent fallout and recent debacle with Nvidia, in which they released a driver and things just went south for them from there. Now, for everybody tuning in and joining me today, thank you for joining me, thank you for tuning in. Maybe you're a friend that decided to check this out, maybe you're an Nvidia user that got curious, or maybe you're somebody that just decided you'd click a random link on YouTube purely for the fact that you could. But whatever your reasons, thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. Now, for everybody who's not familiar with what's been going on, or maybe you've just not kept up with it really well, essentially what happened in a nutshell is Nvidia released a bad driver. It was driver 364.47, and the issues just started pouring in from there. In a lot of these severe cases, people were seeing black screening, blue screens of death, and even infinite booting loops in a few cases as well, where the computer keeps trying to boot up, but is never quite able to do so successfully. Now, for my less technologically savvy people who may be wondering, what's the big deal about a driver? Why are they so important? Basically, drivers are the brains of the outfit when it comes to hardware. They determine how a piece of hardware behaves. They determine how it does its job. They tell it that, in the case of my video card here, how to animate everything. How to animate the station, my ship, the ship that I just then disabled, and so on and so forth. So needless to say, it's a very important thing that you want to keep updated, that you want to keep working properly for the well-being of not only your device, but also for your own sanity. So, needless to say, very, very important thing, and very bad issues going on there. But, to Nvidia's credit, I will give them this. In my personal opinion, they have been very quick to admit that there was an issue, and last time that I had heard, the driver was no longer available for download. However, I had been getting reports just before I filmed this that, in fact, the opposite is quite true, and that the driver can still be downloaded. Now, if you have a pending installation of this driver, or if it's still available for download, obviously I recommend do not download it, but instead wait on the certified driver to come out. That should fix the issue. Or as well, at one point I believe there was a beta driver out there that's supposed to have been a temporary fix until they get the certified driver. I don't know if that's still the case, but at one point there was one that I had seen. So, as well, if you've already installed the driver, then you want to roll the driver back if you can get in through safe mode or some other way, and just go ahead and wait until they bring out the fix for it. Now, some people saw issues because they did the express installation, which is what I saw some people saying Nvidia claimed to be part of the problem. So, some people as well, they tried custom installation after they saw that, and still had issues. So, the custom installation is kind of hit and miss from what I can tell. Some people have had issues, some people haven't. But still, it's something to be very cautious about if you have the driver and it's, still working. Because some people were saying the problems weren't immediate as well. But getting into some of the fallout from this now, I've seen comments already of people saying, oh, well, Nvidia's a crap company, Nvidia's garbage, and they need to do better with their products, and this proves console gaming's better than PC gaming and all this kind of stuff. And first and foremost, I should say, yes, Nvidia, you dropped the ball on this one. You dropped the ball big time. And yes, you do need to do better with this kind of thing. Now, in the grand scheme of things, does this shake my confidence in Nvidia to be able to put out a good product as a company? No, it does not. Because over the years, we've seen Nvidia has been able to put out a good product. I don't know what happened this time around. I'm assuming this is just the one-off time where it didn't go as planned for them. But whatever the reason is, I'm glad to see that they're at least trying to fix it. But Nvidia is one of those companies as well. They like to put out a driver, right before a lot of the AAA game titles come out, to make sure people's video cards are working good. That way, if they do decide to play the game, they've got the latest driver, all that sorts of things. And overall, they put out a lot of drivers for supposed to be the health and well-being of the video card. So, I do give them props on that for at least staying ahead of the game in some cases. But one of the problems that I see with stuff like that is a lot of times when you deal with the AAA game titles, some companies, in order to try to cash in early, they kind of half-bake their testing. They don't really do it as much as they need to, and because of that, end up putting out a product that's not yet ready for general release to the public. Now, given as well, there's only so many things that you can catch without actually taking it to a live machine, but even still, when those issues do come in, they need to get fixed right away or as soon as possible. But one of the other things that I wanted to address, is people asking, well, how do we fix this? How do we prevent stuff like this from happening again? Obviously, testing, and more testing is, of course, a solution to that. Making sure that you've got protocols in place, making sure everything is properly vetted before it goes. So, like I say, that's one of the big things with that. As I was saying a second ago, I think sometimes that companies, they put out things before they're ready. But the big thing to keep in mind as well, even with all the testing that you do, you're never going to catch 100% of the issues 100% of the time, and it's just foolish to think otherwise. It really and truly honestly is. But in the grand scheme of things, obviously, yes, this is an issue, but I think it's not nearly as bad as it could have been. I think that this is just that one-off time where it's backfired on Nvidia. They released something that wasn't ready, and, well, we see the results of that. But continuing on with some of the fallout, one of the other things that I saw as well, this was by a popular YouTuber and some other people around the internet as well, are people asking, well, why can't we have, a sort of benchmark, a minimum thing, something like the Steam machine does? You have the basic Steam machines, and people can upgrade them if they want to, but if they decide not to upgrade them, then the manufacturer knows the basic specs and is better able to help in case an issue does indeed arise. Well, the big problem you have with something like that is with as many different types of parts, many different combinations of things that are out there today, there's literally hundreds and even thousands of different combinations that you could put together. It's just not feasible to have something like that. It's just not possible. But I will admit the idea does sound good on paper, but in practicality it falls short. But continuing on again into the other big thing I wanted to deal with, the comment of, this proves that console gaming is better than PCs, because consoles don't have issues like this. Well, if you're like me and you're one of those weirdos that actually do like to play both console and PC, if you'll remember just 10 or 11 years ago now when the Xbox 360s first came out, what a debacle and what a pain in the rear end that was. We had the red ring of death going around, overheating machines, damaging stuff like that. Then you had, of course, the disc tray in some of the more severe cases, scratching the living daylights out of the disc and making the game completely unplayable. So I say that not to bash Microsoft, not to bash the 360, because I believe that was a good console and still is today. That's just to prove that overall, consoles are not immune to issues the same as PC. They both have their problems from time to time, and they both require fixing. But anyways, that's just some of my thoughts on this whole thing. I think everything, to an extent, is, well, I shouldn't necessarily say everything, but I think a lot of things are being overreacted to. such as people wanting to jump ship and everything. Now, if this has indeed soured you on Nvidia products and you no longer want to do business with the company, I mean, by all means, that is most definitely your right. As you know, I'll tell anybody, vote with your wallet. If you think Nvidia has just gone to the crapper lately, if you think Nvidia's no longer worth investing time or money into, then absolutely, by all means, vote with your wallet. Take your money elsewhere. That is most certainly your right to do so. But for me personally, I'm going to give Nvidia another chance. I'm going to give them time to fix it and everything and see how it goes from there. And they have been a good company, I think. But at the end of the day, I just think this is the one-off time when something went completely to the crapper. But anyways, everybody, you know, this is just some of my thoughts. This whole video is just my opinions on the matter. Feel free to agree with me. Feel free to disagree with me. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this crazy? You know, is this, you know, does this mean Nvidia's a bad company? You know, all that stuff. Anyways, everybody, this is Captain Blade J52 signing off.